This is a small village, kind of a strange place. I've lived here about 10 years now, but my family even longer. We've encountered many unexplained phenomena here, in the forests and in the water specifically. The founders are still buried on the hill, but some of the graves have begun to open up as the hill expands, and this causes tombstones and whatever else to roll down Graveyard Hill into the park below. Ironically, this is where the little kids practice their water skiing. It's on the Fox River, which is really quite a large river. It's got a lot of strange offshoots to it, and the river holds mysterious stories from the tribes that were here before us. Not far from here, they dug up giant bones in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Tons of giant bones. Believe it or not, giants were here in Wisconsin, and no matter how many mounds they were responsible for building and how many should be credited to the native Algonquin tribes is unknown. But there are only a few publicly known traces of the mound-building peoples from this area left. What they don't want you to know is that Wisconsin is the burial mound capital of the United States. Experts estimate over 15,000 have been found, and only 4,000 remain. Where did the burial mounds go, you ask? Well, the Smithsonian paid farmers and grave robbers and private contractors to go throughout the land and dig up all the mounds. Whether they destroyed them, looted the artifacts from inside them, or gave them up to the Smithsonian was of very little matter, as long as the mounds disappeared. You see, similar to today, the museum didn't care about the history. They cared about the story, their story. As they say, the victor decides the narrative. They've done everything in their power to convince us that these people were savages, of little importance, a thorn in the white man's side, forest floor dwellers. They never even gave us an opportunity to believe anything else. But it's all a lie. There were civilizations here, great ones. They mined the Great Lakes of copper. Some of that copper has been found in other parts of the world. They had established trade routes. They had complex structures that could house thousands of people. They had complex rituals and beliefs, and evidence shows they walked among, fought with, and were massacred by some kind of giant race of humanoid beings for many years. Some of those beings were regarded as gods and placed in mounds upon their deaths. Other mounds were built by the giants themselves. Some call them Nephilim, and they would tribe together against a world that hunted them down justly, as they were abominations. I believe that I have found one of the last undiscovered burial mounds in my part of the country. It is massive. I have intentionally left the exact location unknown, but I'm happy to talk to anyone who may be interested in investigating further. I do not know the contents of this mound. I have only metal detected it on a very small scale, but I have hit pings within the mound. As I said before, this is a small village. You might never notice that something of this magnitude is buried deep within the heart of such a place. This is my first video disclosing my evidence. Thank you.
Here it is. We're finding more and more trees cleared in these woods every day, so might as well take a video of this mound while it's still here. Once they excavate it, we'll never know what was in it, but it's definitely a man-made mound. This does not form here naturally. I'm just gonna walk through. I mean, look at the sheer size of this thing. It's kind of hard to tell how steep it is, but extremely steep. I'll see if I can show you. Let's see if I can show you how steep this is. I'm at the base of it here. So you can see how much higher than me it is. But then also, as far as the steepness goes, come over here and look at my ankles. Come over here and look at the side profile of my ankles. Look how steep this mound is. Look at this. So I'm standing straight up. This is an extremely steep mound. And if you look closely, you might just find little shells. Obviously these are just snails, but still pretty cute. This is definitely an Indian burial mound. It's really hard to see from above because of all the trees that are growing out of it. But all the trees growing out of it are just even more evidence to me that this has been here for quite some time. Look at how far this mound goes. Look at how far. That's still it. Look at the size of these trees growing out of it. And then this is the very tip of it, right here. This is where it starts or stops, which means this may be the location of the entrance. Typically there was an entrance somewhere, and it might be right there, behind that log, because that seems to be the tip of it. Curiously, and I know this isn't related probably intentionally, but curiously, if I pan the camera over, this structure is here. And this structure has been here as long as I have been exploring these woods. And I did not put it there. You can see it's flooded right now because of all the melt. But there is a structure here. And just a little bit of a closer look. Again, I don't know who put this here. And it's fine. It's probably just an explorer. But my point is, certain places attract certain kinds of activities unintentionally and unbeknownst to the person's performing those activities. And so if somebody's felt some kind of calling to build some kind of structure here and maybe hunker in for the night, was that feeling brought about by something relating to the mound? It's this whole psychological study I'm working on. But anyway, guys, here we are back at the mound. I'm going to go and climb it now. So this is one of the easier sides to get up. Still pretty steep. Still pretty steep. I'm not showing you me because you don't want to see me. So that's where the tip would go, down that way, right? If we kept going down there, that's going downhill. This, you can clearly kind of see the shape of the mound, down on both sides. And I'm walking up the middle of the mound. It's like sloped graciously once you get on top. You come up to the top, and there's a hole. And a big tree growing out of it. You can see the steepness of the sides all the way around. Look at this. Look how steep this is. This is the other end of it. This could also be one of the entrance points. Come around here. Look how steep this is. Look at this drop off here. And what else is interesting is the depth of this hole. I'm down in it now. And this is, this is where we're at. We're down in this hole. This is ground level. I'm on my knees right now. This is how deep it is. I'm about 5'10", 5'11" on a good day. And the top of the the top of the mound. Right there. So, right about here on me, I'd say. Right about here. And this is just a bowl that, in my opinion, is probably because it's caving in, not because this wasn't supposed to be here. I think it's caving in, which just furthers my opinion that this is some kind of man-made structure underneath here. There would be rock formations below, rock and timber formations, and then dirt piled on top of that. So this is the outermost dirt level. It's caving in. It's possible that whatever was holding it up down here broke and began to cave in as well, causing everything on top to go inward. So I wanted to show you guys this because this is the burial mound that I'm always referencing, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize how serious I take this, because this whole forest is being picked apart right now. I don't know if they're trying to expand neighborhoods or trying to make more homes for people, or what they're doing, if they're trying to make it into some kind of bigger park, better for more people, I don't know. But they're cutting down a ton of trees, and like I said before, it's only a matter of time before they come through here and wipe this all out. So this might be the last documentation of this mound ever to be found, and maybe even the first. So I haven't been able to find anything in the village records on it yet. We might never know. River down there. So you've got river on one side. That way is going to head towards the Fox. And then this is water runoff from the village. So this is not, this was probably a bigger river. They've kind of controlled it, but I would guess by the cuts of these banks, this was actually probably a bigger river coming through here. So this all over here would also probably be water at one point, and that's why it's all dead and there's nothing really growing there. And then you have the banks over here, or some kind of hill. Maybe some great river came through this whole area at one point, but the banks of this hill also shelter us from that side, making this burial location, honestly, this might have some significant ceremonial value just because of its location. I don't know.